Hello everyone, this is Gen Z Talks, bringing you another video. Today, the topic will be why Donald Trump shouldn't be president. Now, there's many things I can name off the list for why he shouldn't be president, but today we're just going to focus on the policies. Many of these include the economy, the tax cuts, draining the swamp, the Iran and Paris deals, the foreign relations, crimes, the separating of the kids, healthcare, and the coronavirus. So let's get started. So, Trump supporters love to brag about the economy. Oh, Trump came in after Barack Hussein Obama's presidency, and then Trump created the best economic growth, they say. Well, sorry to tell you, kid, but you're actually wrong. In fact, GDP growth has actually been higher during Obama's term than Trump's. The unemployment rate, as you can see here, Barack Obama brought the unemployment rate down after the Great Recession, and Trump has just been continuing the trend, as you can see here. Now, what's next, you say? Job growth has actually been higher under Obama, it's just continued under Trump. Wage growth has still continued through Trump after Obama, as you can see here. The household income has risen significantly under Obama and continued with Trump. S&P 500, same thing. And then the deficit. All you Republicans love to talk about deficits. Barack Obama brought down the deficit and Trump raised it. And then the federal debt, Trump still raised it. So that's just debunking 101. Now the next thing. His tax cuts. Trump brought in these tax cuts and helped the working class and created this economic miracle, they say. Well, actually, no. The tax cuts actually raised taxes for working people. And in fact, according to Forbes, the richest 400 wealthy people paid a lower tax rate than any other group, especially the working class. At the rate we're going, it's essentially like this. The working and middle class people are paying higher taxes while the rich folks are getting their taxes cut. That is not fair and that is not correct. So, again, the economy, unemployment rate, job growth has been debunked, and the tax cuts have been debunked for just raising taxes on the working people. The working people that Trump claims to care about. What an idiot. Now, not to mention, speaking of economics, if he really cared about the economy, he would have raised the minimum wage. As if the minimum wage had kept up with inflation and productivity, it would be $22 in 2018. Not to mention, wage increases have gone to the top, while has stayed stagnated and gone very little for the lower and working people. Back to what I was saying. Income inequality is at an all-time high. So much for that great economy. You want to talk about income inequality? Look at this chart right here. Yeah, you could say, well, what about Obama? But it doesn't matter. Look, the top 1% used to hold less wealth than the bottom 50%. Now look at it. Look at the wealth disparity. Now, look at this. The top 1% used to have about the same as the bottom 90%. And this has just gone up and has gotten worse and worse ever since. And the tax cuts have even worsened this, giving more to the top and less to the bottom. Now, the next topic I want to say, draining the swamp. Now, if you don't know what draining the swamp is, it's the phrase Trump used when he was talking about the fact that Hillary was owned by a bunch of Wall Street executives. And that he was going to get rid of money in politics and money from politics in Washington, D.C. in general. Well, guess what? He is the swamp. Look who's running the cabinet. An oil lobbyist runs the Department of the Interior. A coal lobbyist runs the EPA. So much for the Environmental Protection Agency. Big Pharma executive runs the Health and Human Services. The Boeing executive runs the Secretary of Defense. Betsy DeVos, someone who wants to privatize education, runs the Department of Education, and a banking executive runs the Secretary of the Treasury. What type of swamp? These are federally protected wetlands. Look, the cabinet is abysmal. Who in the world put Ben Carson for Secretary in Housing and Urban Development? That is just straight up horrifying. I mean, straight up. Andrew Wheeler, look him up. He's a lobbyist. Why would you put him in the EPA? He's a lobbyist for coal. So much for protecting the environment. But then again, Trump doesn't even believe in climate change, as he called it a Chinese hoax. Now, speaking of cabinet, this guy had the audacity to put Stephen Miller, a white nationalist, in the White House. Like, just to top it off, you got a debunked economy, failed tax cuts, swamp that's still there, and now you got a white supremacist in your White House. Great job, Trump. Now, the next two things. Pulling out of the Iran deal and the Iran mess up and the Paris Climate Agreement. This guy pulled out of the Paris Climate Agreement. Paris Climate Agreement is where all the countries met up in 2015 so that they would have a plan to lower carbon emissions. This guy doesn't even believe in climate change, as I told you before, and he straight up pulled out of it. Now, the Iran deal. The Iran deal was supposed to reduce the amount of uranium that Iran could produce for their weapons, right? In fact, according to a study in 2016, Iran was actually following the rules. But this guy had the audacity to pull out of it. And not to mention, this guy not only did that, but he killed Qasem Soleimani, a politician in Iran. Now, you could debate whether that guy is a bad or a good person, but you straight up killed a politician for no reason at all. You pull out of an Iran deal that Iran was actually following, then you proceed to almost start World War III. Like, come on now. That is straight up baloney. Now, you voters think Trump has given America a great worldwide image? No. Look at this. Look at this map. Confidence was at an all-time high with Obama. Then when Trump took office, look at this. 7% for Spain, 9% France, 10% Germany. Are you kidding me? This is horrible. I mean, this is the source I'm using, Pew Research Center. This is horrible. I mean, literally look at this. The approval rating of Trump worldwide has literally tanked. He's ruined relationships for the USA. I mean, other than Israel, of course, but that's because he's aiding that country really badly. But look at this. The view of America has just gone down horribly under Trump. This is straight up abysmal. Like, I don't even need to keep going. This is straight up abysmal, and it's an embarrassment. Look at this. Favorable view of the U.S. tanked when Trump took over. Confidence in U.S. president? How do you go from 86% with Obama down to 11% the minute Trump's elected? This is straight up baloney. My God, this is trash. Germany, Mexico, I could keep going. This is straight up horrible. He ruined our foreign relations. And no, Miss Trump supporters, he did not make you look good worldwide. You guys look like idiots. Now the crimes. His whole administration is so criminal, you'd think you're in the Richard Nixon era. Like, my God. So let's cut to the crimes, shall we? Okay. So obviously he had immigrants at the border died. That's pretty much messed up over there. He paid hush money to Stormy Daniels while he was working for his campaign. And this was because he cheated on his wife. So he had to pay the hush money. But this was during his presidency. This is wrong. Well, not during presidency, but during the time of his presidency plus the campaign trail. But yeah, this is straight up wrong. This is bribery. Next, I already told you, the kids in cages. You can talk about the lies, but I'm talking straight policy over here. The next thing. This guy literally got Russia to collude in an American election and got to release those WikiLeaks, the WikiLeaks emails, to make Hillary Clinton look bad. Yes, I even know Hillary Clinton straight up pulled a Richard Nixon move. But this is still bad. Doesn't change the fact that it's still bad. And then this guy literally evaded taxes forever. So that's another big crime he did. Like, my God. So many crimes. Not to mention, Back to the separating of kids. The Trump administration has projected that it would separate 26,000 migrant kids at the border. And now, the worst crime of all. The one he technically got impeached for but got acquitted. He withheld aid, military aid from Ukraine, so that the Ukrainian government could dig up dirt on Joe Biden. That is straight up bribery. Like, my God, this is abysmal. Now, the next thing, other than many of these topics, is healthcare. He was going to make healthcare great, right? No. He wanted to repeal the Affordable Care Act, which would have made almost 30 million people lose their health insurance. And since you Republicans care about jobs so much, 1.2 million jobs would have been lost. Like, this is straight up abysmal. Not to mention, now let's cut to 2020. This guy literally, according to Snopes, a fact-checking website, he fired the U.S. pandemic response team in 2018 to cut costs. And the pandemic team was the one that actually knew what they were doing with the coronavirus stuff. And now, and not to mention, this guy literally talked about the coronavirus saying it was some sort of hoax. Like, come on now. And now our country has to pay. This guy's straight up abysmal. Vote Joe Biden 2020. He's at least the better option. Thank you.